Hello, we have updates. The qualifying matches are going to be going one by one, so still quite a few series to go for. We're going to be hopping in mid-series to the one that we gave up to see the ace match of this last. That's a Laser versus Fear. Currently, a Laser is up 1, and they're playing right now, so it might be a 2-0. We might miss that qualifying match. That's the
Fear's
match
out
that's
of
going
game.
on every other game. Yeah, they just got out of game. Laser 2-0. There you go.
Oh,
So,
congratulations to a laser. He qualifies for the second stage.
woohoo! Yes, he does.
Right?
So we
Well,
are going to be waiting for the vetoes of DeMusliM, I think. DeMusliM Lambo.
versus Lambo. Yeah, makes sense. Demago versus Naiden has also been ready for a while, so I guess they're just put on hold, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. And the very end of the bracket is going to be put on hold for some.
Oh,
Uh,
Night End versus Demago is actually postponed until tomorrow at 4 p.m. CEST due to Night End's request. So I guess Night End had to go somewhere or something. So
yeah.
that does mean the only matches we're going to be doing today for the qualifying matches that is going to be covered here on BaseTradeTV will be Lambo versus DeMusliM and Sake versus Seoul. And those are going to be happening like one after the other. They're not going to be happening at the same time. So we get to watch both of the qualifying matches.
Yeah.
Half of them.
I guess we're going to try and cast that tomorrow then. This is news to us. That would be at 11 a.m. EDT.
I won't be here for that, so
Well, by we, I guess I mean I. That'll be at,
I meant we as in the formal I.
yeah. It'll be 7 a.m. PDT. Yeah, alrighty then.
I can join you on my laptop in a really terrible microphone.
What are you doing?
I'm going home. Gonna help my parents repair a car, clean up our garage, vacuum the porch,
Cool.
stuff.
My dad's actually having surgery right now. And
Oh wow.
I guess fewer games for me would be
Again?
better. Yeah, so a couple months ago he got his one hip, and now he's getting his other hip.
Ah, got it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hopefully it goes well.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the biggest deal. Hip surgery is really quite, kind of easy nowadays, but...
Hmm.
Of course, mother's
quite hip
all
to it now.
stressed and stuff. Hey-oh. It's hip to be square.
If I were doing a highlight of this today's casting, which I would not recommend at all, because I think both of us have been very tired for most of it.
Uh-huh.
But if I was, I would have a Heyo counter.
Hey-oh. Hey-oh, start the series. DeMusliM, please. Ah.
Heyo. I say.
Oof. I want another Red Bull, but I already had one. Tough
I
stuff.
can't do energy drinks.
Because
Like,
they hurt you? Physically?
yeah, I started feeling sick whenever I have one now.
Ah.
And for that reason, like, I haven't had an energy drink, like, maybe minus 1 or 2 occasions. Like, at a live event or something. I haven't had an energy drink for, like, 5-6 months.
That sucks. I was saying earlier, I just like the blueberry flavor.
I
Or
really
berry.
like the default monster. Default monster is delicious.
You weirdo.
You're a weirdo.
No. No. No, you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, I love how laggy I am on the stream. Look at this. Look at this.
Whatever, blame Skype.
Zombie Grub's fault.
Man, it's fine.
Maybe I should host the call.
Maybe you should. Did you ever think of that?
Do you want me to try and host the call?
I don't care. I don't think the lag is... I mean, I don't look at you, so...
I look at me.
Do you? Are you the man in the mirror?
No. No.
Oh.
Oh, well, ladies and gentlemen, you guys are wondering what the hell BaseTradeTV is doing. Why are we so unprofessional? We are unprofessional, but We're also just waiting for the next game.
Yes.
Yes, we're waiting for the vetoes to be done between Fear and... Oh, no, sorry, not Fear. Lambo and
DeMusliM.
DeMusliM. Who, I think DeMusliM, I saw him as like AFK. I don't know if he's actually there.
No.
At least StarCraft shows him as idle, but it may just be himself setting himself as idle. Okay, he's not idle anymore, so probably okay.
My wrist starting to hurt.
Emil, talking in some language I don't know.
Maybe Polish.
Dobra. Widze, DeMusliM versus Lambo, a potem TvZ sake. Wait, why is it TY versus sake?
I don't know. Why do you think I know Polish? Just because I'm 1/8 Polish? That's racist.
Maybe a potem TY actually stands for soul in Polish. He translated the name soul.
Maybe. Thanks to Pandemonium1984 for the 18-month resub.
Been sub since 1984. Wow.
What's going on? I said, hey. What's going
Romo
on?
1012. I guarantee you it's mostly just that I have slept for like 5 hours in the past 2 days. Because I got off a flight, and then I got home, and I slept for like 3 hours or 4 hours for the Corsair Cup. And then I tried to go to sleep later that day after we finished Corsair Cup, and I wasn't able to for more than like 2-3 hours. And then I got up for the Illuma League, and then I slept for another hour and got up for this.
Did you play some N64?
I played barely any N64, okay? I played like an hour of it.
Okay.
Wish I played 1 hour less of N64. But now I have my stream ready so I can stream N64 games at some point, even though I'm going to be not home to stream it for a while.
Great. That's exactly what happened to me, actually. I got a capture card for my PlayStation 3, and then I went to Canada for a month. So, nailed it.
Nice.
Yeah. Alright, we're finally into game. Best of 3, qualifying match. In the top left as the blue Terran, he is DeMusliM.
And to the bottom right, we once again have the red Zerg player. It's Lambo.
Yeah, it is. Cetus took down a Protoss. Can he take down a Terran? The Protoss played odd, and I don't see DeMusliM playing in any way similar to Turtle Mass Air. DeMusliM could do that in the past, as anyone could. You know, back in Heart of the Storm, Turtle was oftentimes the way to go, but not Legacy of the Void.
Have you seen much of DeMuslim's play lately? Because I know he used to be very notorious for playing awfully greedy, going for really quick third CCs that wasn't entirely prepared to defend, always. But I don't really know if that's really his playstyle anymore. A lot has changed, not just in Legacy of the Void, but a lot of time has passed. And DeMusliM, I know he's been a very different person lately.
Yeah, that's true. I want to give Lambo the series, but I want to give it to like 2-1. Not 2-0. We'll see what DeMusliM has in store. If you're just going to do something standard, then I'd give it even more to Lambo. But I know DeMusliM has had his cheese and whatnot. You know, he won through an entire European qualifier by 2-raxing, for instance. But I think a lot of Terrans are trying to copy Bjorn nowadays with that faster second barracks. If he is going to get it, it would be like in the next second here, 21 supply. He's going to go for the factory. Alright, goes for the factory.
Okay. He's not going to play ultra greedy and go for like a 3cc build. But yeah, King's Age Station, definitely one of those sort of interesting maps. There's nice potential for the aggression behind the rocks, the natural expansion. Liberator harassment is really common. Widowmine drops is really common on this map. You know, especially Zerg players. I always feel bad for Zerg players because Protoss players, like, dealing with a Widowmine drop is like having good enough reaction time to Photon Overcharge, kill the Widowmine before it burrows. With Zergs, it's like, okay, it's about making sure you sacrifice only one Zergling for each one of those Widowmine shots.
Well, I think if DeMusliM does go for like a, whoopsie, I didn't mean to follow an extractor. If DeMusliM goes for a Widowmine drop into a tank push, it's old at this point, to be honest. like the What Am I drop for the tanks on this side. It is something we saw on King Sejong. Oh, that was supposed to happen.
Oh.
But it's not effective anymore. Zerg's got too good defensively, and then they got a queen range upgrade. So I'm glad to see it's not that. I'm actually not sure what it is. I think it's going to be double Liberator harassment.
Interesting. By the way, big shout out to Cheshire Cat. Thank you so much for the 6-month resub.
Woohoo! Cool.
The double Liberator harassment is interesting. I mean, it can definitely be effective, especially moving into the natural expansion. Move another one to the main base. The cool thing also is that if you move it around far enough in the main base, you can actually set it up to potentially retreat over to the third and catch any transferring drones there.
What? Okay,
Medevac
first of all, yeah, Medevac and Liberator, and also second, what is a factory placement?
It's a wall in.
It's an eventual diagonal wall. Alright, whatever floats is. But this is some very odd Terran play, I gotta say. From what we've noticed, the Koreans, you know, obviously Bjorn doing the same thing over and over again. Other Terrans need to be copying Bjorn. Thermal kind of does his own thing still, but it's a lot more people just trying to figure out how to be Bjorn. This is certainly odd. This is them tank push. This is very mild harassment. This goes back to the problem, though, of a single Widowmine drop. It might be a weird-looking build to a Widowmine drop, but it is the same idea. Queens defensively, I think, are too good for just single medevacs. Following up with the Liberator and only one Liberator, Spore Crawler should be in the natural. Yeah, it is. I don't think this will do very much as long as Lambo's on point, and he's already found the medevac.
Yeah, I guess the next thing is that it's going to bring all of the queens over here, and because it's so weird and unorthodox, queens are not going to be in position if the Liberator just goes in the main base. It's going to take a really long time, especially since those queens are actually kind of off of creep right now.
Whoopsie. Could just pull the drones away from here and have to worry about it.
Ooh, nice juking.
A few drones.
Yeah.
The Liberator dies. The Widowmine helps a little bit, but mostly takes the Lings. Not bad. And 5 drones is okay, as long as he can save the medevac.
Keeps the medevac alive. Is getting very low, but
that should die.
Widowmine is still going to be there.
That should die. The queen should have been here target firing. There we go.
Oh.
There we go.
That's unfortunate.
This shouldn't get much. Just damage the queen. Is it target fires? Nope, not even.
Well, now we're at a point where a Terran player literally has a Viking out on the map.
Yeah, this is... I mean, this is all just kind of like... This is why I think it's really fallen out of style. But not to be too harsh on it, we'll just have to wait and see what he can do as the follow-up. And he is following up with 3rd Command Center, Double Engineering Bay, and Macro follow-up. Thanks to Phenalius for the 25-month resub. That's a damn long time. But it's like, wow. This is the type of game that we were seeing a month or 2 months ago, where the Terran would do okay harassment, and that's great, that's fine. But they wouldn't do enough, and then a Zerg player would overwhelm them with ultras. Very old style of TvZ. I'm a little afraid it's gonna happen here. But it's like, it's a calling the game so far in the future, like I don't want to do that. It's just, sometimes they were depressing, you know? That's gonna be in my mind forever, just watching a Terran
As a Terran player, they were depressing.
Yeah, just watch the Terran try and try and try and do nothing and then get, you know, stomped by ultras. It's depressing to watch. He's not building anything for the factory, by the way. There's no reactors, no tech labs, so he's gonna be just bio. That's a hard style to make work.
He did make a Widowmine.
Yeah, 1. Well, 2, because the other one died, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just one surprise Widowmine. Once they think there's Widowmines, then suddenly, that's all you need to do. It's the mental damage.
The Liberator came in, I guess, and killed 4 more drones. Not really worth, though.
Yeah.
This Viking has been the best thing, I think. Kill 3 of 4. Still alive. Way to go, buddy.
It is the most effective unit on the map for DeMusliM right now.
And you just gotta bring up, you know, the comparison with the, what is now, I think, dubbed as the Bjorn build. This is a point where he has 4 medevacs, 2 dropping, or a main push going down, and it's just, it seems like it's gonna be a lot scarier. But here comes the Muslim's main push, and this is really where it's gonna be like, okay, if he does damage, then forget about the early game. But I don't think he'll do damage. He's down 30 army supply.
There's a lot of Ravagers in this army, too. Stim forward immediately goes into a stim back. A couple Zergons also going to be doing a counterattack. Not going to kill off a whole lot over here, but oh my god, the Corrosive Biles.
Yeah, I just barely missed. They anticipated the medevacs, and the medevacs stopped, which is kind of funny. But Lambo just sees an opportunity. He's just like, hey, I'm kind of bullying you. Let's do this. Oh, the Viking is saved.
That Viking.
Hero Viking. But can DeMusliM save himself? He has no tanks falling back to. In fact, he's not even falling back to tech. His combat shield still won't be done. His 2-2 definitely won't be done. Does Lambo just win with Roach Ravager?
It's going to be a really hard defense, but I think he can make it work. It's just, I don't think he can make it work like this. I think, yeah, he needs to do a little bit more of this kiting action, trying to pull away from these roaches, dodging the corrosive biles, just buying himself more time. There's just more and more roaches being rallied across the map, though.
Yeah. I mean, to note, Lambo intentionally went for an attack here, right? Yes, he saw an opportunity to do so, but he did cut his upgrades. He didn't go for a saturated 4th base. This was a more aggressive Zerg than what some other Zerg are doing, you know, just purely defensive Roach Ravager. But I still think a lot of this has to do with that earlier game. Now, Lambo does start losing out here, and when 2-2 upgrades finish, it does start to get better than Roach Ravager. So Lambo's either got to think of an Infestation Pit or just pull back right now and consolidate. This is getting dangerous. Combat Shields has finished. This is starting to waste roaches.
He's not making any drones. He's not throwing up tech behind this. He's just continuing to make roaches
Lambo's actually
and
gonna GG.
Zerglings.
Wow.
DeMusliM, he holds.
I can't believe he GG'd after the hold, though. Because if he does pull back and stops running in, sure, his upgrades aren't the best, but I think Corrosive Bile and Fester gives so much potential for the comeback.
And he had like an even number of workers. He had a 4th expansion down. Yeah, I was sort of surprised by that as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's good news. I was really worried that if DeMusliM has this, like, you know, just kind of like slow tumble down and then loses to a push, that's kind of tilt-inducing, you know? But taking the game instead, bringing it back, making roaches seem as bad of units as they should look against Bio, that's much better. I wonder what made Lambo decide to go for the more aggressive style at Roach Ravager, too. It was working to a time, obviously, but then overcommitting with it for sure. Why not just play the more defensive style that a lot of Terrans have been having trouble with the Queens? It almost worked. Can't fault it too much.
Well, I guess we'll find out in game number 2 what he is going to do to adapt. If he's going to continue to try and go for that sort of style, or he's just going to, like, I guess, go into a more late game-oriented Roach Ravager style.
Yeah. I think DeMusliM had to restart his computer or something. Just went offline online. The next map's going to be New Gettysburg, so I think it's really great then that DeMusliM took that first game. As New Gettysburg would be something that Lambo would love to play on. Especially if he does transfer over into a more defensive game. By the way, this is like... It's been a long time since we've seen a Zerg player go to Roach Ravager. We've been watching so many Koreans. And then a Laser, right? Who's been trying to go for Mutilating Bling.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
It has been a little bit. But, I don't know, I feel like it's just because we haven't watched as much Nurture lately.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the European tournament yesterday, Corsair Cup, was still, as I said, the European no, it was Guru. That's right, not a Laser. The Korean or the European that's trying to go for Mutilating Bling. And then before that, I was casting, you know, Koreans, which are I think 100% European.
There are like 2 or 3 Europeans that still like to go for Mutilating Bling.
Yeah. But alright, it's New Gettysburg. In the bottom right, down 1, he is the Red Zerg Lambo.
And in the bottom left, we have the blue Terran player with the American flag.
Hey-o.
But he's British. Give it up for DeMusliM.
I think this is the clan Xenocider was in, by the way, for the show matches on Sunday. As Xenocider did bother, he just said, I don't mind playing on the European server.
Europe?
Yeah, he didn't care.
Oh.
He played all 3 games, or all 2 games, because he 2-0'd on the European server. Under this clan tag, pretty sure.
You know
America.
what? Of the Europeans out there, I think that DeMusliM would be one of the few that you would say, hey, he belongs in America.
Well, he was on EG
American.
for so long,
Yeah,
and as such in America for so
exactly.
long, that, yeah, some people certainly... I feel like newcomers in the last 2 years are like, what the hell are you talking about? He's clearly
It's sort of like Rotterdam. I kind of just consider Rotterdam an American at this point.
Yeah. Despite literally being named after what his hometown, I think.
I know, right?
Yeah. Oh well. So, I already went over a little bit about the differences that Lambo is showcasing as, opposed to more current Zerg. And also, during the game, went over the differences that DeMusliM showcasing from current Terran. So it kind of feels like a throwback to 3 months ago when you consider the cast we've had for the last week. Not even over the weekend, but also I think the last Corsair Cup and the last Lambo League, right? So it's been a good 2 weeks about that we've been seeing Mutilating Bling versus Beyond builds, basically. Not these one Widowmine drops versus Roach Ravager. And it is a throwback. It's like I gotta remember how to cast this instead of watching Bjorn have 16 Marines all over the place. He's gonna be going for it again in factory build.
I wonder if he's still gonna go for that same medevac plus liberator style, if that's something that he's just been doing with finding some success with, or what?
I don't know. Well, DeMusliM's gonna get a Reaper in here. What is this drone doing? What? What are you doing? Did you take a base over here?
Maybe he was just trying to hide it from the Reaper.
Yeah, I guess so. Super
so you can
secret.
take a third later?
I guess
but,
so.
Wouldn't it just be better off mining?
Yes, it would. Or just, I think it's exactly what the case is.
Maybe it went to the third, he saw the Reaper coming with an Overlord or something, and then just sent it up because he knew if he sent it back to the natural, it would have been caught.
I think that's exactly what happened. It just looks so funny seeing him really try and hide it. And it goes back and makes a third, so, yeah, okay, makes more sense.
Just damn it.
Yeah, he specifically wanted to catch that drone, so kudos to Lambo for saving it.
Well, Starport's about to finish up, and we're going to find out how he decides to use that Starport. He doesn't have a reactor on it, so it's going to be Siege Tanks coming out from the Tech Lab. We do have the double barracks, but no Tech Lab on the barracks. It's a really sort of interesting setup. A little bit different than I usually see.
Maybe looking towards either a single tank drop to start things off, but ideally more to a tank push later on. The bridge does provide a much faster attack path, so that New Gettysburg isn't as large as it originally seems. Bye, Reaper. But it is dangerous to use the bridge, even with a tank, because if they have a concave, if they do have roaches, it can be hard to find a good position. But certainly starting off with a tank drop first usually will not lose you the tank, and it just is this bit of harassment. Certainly good defensively as well, if Lambo was going to do anything a bit cheesy. He still could. Seeing a third base doesn't guarantee they're going to go for a macro game. But that's not the case.
He is sitting on 36 drones, but he's still droning up right now,
Yeah.
so he should be getting up to a much higher count. And honestly, any units that he's making right now is probably going to be made just to deal with the push, but Overlord scouts out the move across the map, and is going to see also not just the Marines, but the medevac and the siege tank. So this is what you were talking about in that last game, the sort of push style that has definitely faded out of, I guess, the meta lately.
Yeah, especially when it comes to the Koreans, but medevac is targeted. Nicely done.
Wow, siege tank survives.
Yeah, unless the siege tank survives, and it is starting to take down those queens, so it's still a little bit scary. But with the medevac gone, they should definitely not end the game, and it really shouldn't get any more queens here. Lambo's just got to wait for more lingering reinforcements. You should be able to
Old
push
school
this back.
style. Got to unsiege the siege tank and siege it back up further forward.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Losing an upgrade. That's big.
Also
That's
in melee.
good use.
It had just started, I think, so it wasn't super far along, but it's still very annoying to lose.
Yeah, and he may lose another queen. He's still, these Marines still have some firepower combined with a tank, and he's got a rally. I don't think he rallies if this goes any worse, and he does start to pull back as it gets cleaned up. But he almost had an opportunity there if Lambo wasn't, if he started losing queens, all of his queens, he probably just dies, in fact, with the rally. But he pushes this off.
It does a bit of damage, but oh god, losing a siege tank over here. I was gonna say, even before losing this siege tank, do you think it was enough? Yeah, GG. I think that DeMusliM was really far behind. That was a pretty committed attack.
I don't think it. The third base had only just started.
He didn't have a third. He didn't have stim on the way. He didn't have combat shields on the way. I think stim and combat shields being behind was the biggest thing.
I don't know about that. That felt very abrupt. I think what he thought was going to happen was since he lost the tank and he didn't have a medevac to pick it up anyway, his third would have been canceled, and then he wouldn't have gotten a macro game. And in that way, I can see the tumble down effects. But in another, I can say that a lot of their Terrans would not have tapped out right there. and that they would have hoped eventual medevac drops would bring them back.
It definitely was like an earlier tap out, especially since that was the qualifying match, I think, right? Like that was, and I mean, not just a qualifying match, but that was like the qualifying game. He was down 0-1.
Well, DeMusliM won the last game. Right?
I don't remember.
Well, now you got me second guessing.
I remember King Sejong Station. I remember him. No, yeah, he did win the last game. You're right.
Because
yeah,
Guru had
that push in.
I think an equally early tap out where you could have said Guru could have probably stayed in. He had 4 bases. He still had a good economy. He probably could have tried to bring it back, and he said tapped out. Or sorry, Lambo.
Such a mess right now. We're both so tired.
Right? That Lambo had that, and then just now DeMusliM. Maybe he could have stuck in longer and tried to bring it back, but didn't. Just taps out and cuts his losses. And now they're going into an ace match where cutting their losses is no longer the answer.
Yeah.
There's no other game to go into. Stop tilting. It's got to be like, I'm going to stick in this as long as possible. Lift the buildings.
All right, well, I guess we're hopping into the next game, Galactic Process. I was a little bit more worried because I thought if you're tapping out in the last game of the series, then it's really questionable if you tap out early on. I really do feel like it's worth sticking around, even though I know there's like a lot of hate that commentators will have for like players that just don't seem to leave the game after they've lost. But I mean, I definitely appreciate like the value in the players doing sticking around for it.
Well, I didn't go to a break just because I was so surprised, I guess, about the way these games have ended and the way they've played out too. Definitely a lot more old school as we were talking about, but also the bigger tap outs. The last one's going to be Galactic Process. I wonder if DeMuslim's going to go for a lot of Reapers. Maybe. It would be risky to do for the ace match, but also, a lot of Zergs hate it, so it could be worth just for tilting Lambo. Well, let's swap this around as my fingers press all the wrong buttons. The top right's ours, the blue Terran. He is DeMusliM.
And his opponent in the bottom left, we have the red Zerg player. It's Lambo from Team Invasion.
Yeah.
You know what I just realized?
What?
Totally unrelated. The Terran command center, like not just the decal on the bottom, on the ground, but the command center itself also has the little clan decal, or not clan decal, it's the decal you select, kind of the similar style that you select your portrait.
Yeah.
So that has that, but the Zerg hatchery doesn't.
Well, why would you paint a Zerg hatchery, Rifkin? Or Fear Dragon? Oh my god, it's like I'm transported.
Was the question that ridiculous?
Yes, it was. That's exactly the retort I would have asked Rifkin. Oh my god. Well, I think it's like, I didn't think we were that tired, and then suddenly it went from like 100 to 0.
I know, right? For those who don't know, we were up, so yesterday we were casting the Corsair Cup. That was around, like, I'm going to give everything in, like, my time, Pacific time. So I casted that at 10 a.m. Pacific. That's totally fine. That was totally, absolutely fine. But then we immediately have to try and go to bed as soon as we finish the Corsair Cup, like, around, like, 4 p.m. or, like, 2 p.m. And then we have to get up for the Alima League at 2 a.m. We casted that. Then we had an hour and a half of downtime, and then we got up and casted this. So it's like, we're both operating on like under 4 or 5 hours of sleep. It's been
Yeah, we're feeling it. I'm gonna say I'm glad that for one, that little hiccup with the matches is gonna be on the VODs, thank God. Or it might be actually. I don't think he cuts in between games anymore. Feels bad. But two, that the chat is equally kind of not exactly confused, because it is one of those things like IDGE or GTMs where, like, if you really think about it, you can see how it could tumble down, and that's why they tap out a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
But they're equally just kind of like, yeah, it's a bit early, like, because this seriously, this TvZ has not gone the way, composition-wise, builder-wise, timing-wise, that these matches you've been casting for the last 2 to 4 weeks have gone. It's so different. It's so old, and I just feel like I'm watching, like I'm in like a different like universe right now or something, right? Like I'm almost freaked out at this point because I'm also really tired. But then chat's also kind of like, yeah, right, that was a little weird. And I wonder if it's gonna be the same thing here. Again, it's the ace match, so I gotta say that they won't tap out early. We are seeing again though a factory build, so DeMusliM just not a fan, I guess, of that faster second barracks.
Yeah, reactor on the factory though, and it seems honestly a lot to me like he's gonna go for the same thing that he went for on King Sejong Station, where he is a good chance he might go for either double medevac, double liberator, or potentially with DeMusliM, liberator and medevac.
This is so I could kind of see that on King Sejong, because you know if the Zerg doesn't put the spore color down at the natural, that instantly nets you so many more kills with the two-pronged attack. And, you know, and I can kind of see that for that map and that hope. But the for Galactic
Double
Process, I don't think... No, it changes it. Huh.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah. For Galactic
Even
Process...
he's not sure yet.
There's not as much of an abusive position, you can say. You know, there's not that little ledge of the natural on a Galactic Process that, if it misses a Spore Crawler, is really good for a Liberator or a drop. So, I think what he's hoping for is that, well, because the third has, like, no creep spread to it yet, he can get one or the other here, and then one or the other over here. There's potential for single medevac, single liberator harassment. It's felt lately like it's been useless potential, like, never ever gonna meet the potential, but the Muslims are gonna try and make it work. Again, last game, I think last game he did this, he got five drones, I want to say. See if he can do more here.
I think the nice thing about this particular map is that you can go for the single medevac drop, you can try and get a little bit of damage done, but if you don't get the damage done, you go straight over to the main base, and then you can come back once the Liberator is there. You can join up the two forces and try and get something done. Widowmine doesn't really get a lot of damage done. I guess it hits the Queen, didn't actually have any kills whatsoever. But the medevac has got to stay alive. That's so important for him.
He's already killed, I think, too many Lings. That was a little weird. Lambo's Queens were kind of, you know, they still didn't have the creep guy supporting them. Well, they did, didn't they? Well, the point is his Lings are going down one at a time, so he still lost a lot of Lings defending this. A lot more than I think he could have. Yeah, 18.
Oh, the Widowmine rebirths! That's so cute.
Can they get 2 drones? 3 drones? 4? Wait, that was one of the Liberator, I think.
Yeah, Liberator was doing some damage. Liberator was getting chased by the Queen, but does decide to back off and go after an Overlord instead. Get that free damage done, but... you know, losing the medevac, as we mentioned before, it does kind of suck, but at the same time, I feel like that was a pretty effective amount of damage. Well, Liberator gonna continue. God, Liberator has used like no damage.
No, they really don't. The recent change that made it so useless against like single target, like Broodlords or obviously Overlords. Yeah, they can suck. The second Liberator comes in here. Sporecast reposition. It's 2 more drones.
Oh, gotta reposition one more time, but no opportunity over there. Queens are still in range. Even as the Queen coming in from the main base, I was ready to go for it. Actually, the Queen from the main base was the one that threw down the transfuse on Lambo's Queen. The weakened one. DeMusliM also just has like this weird Liberator that's just sieged up out of nowhere.
Is it sieged up? Oh, maybe it's expecting the Queen to follow it? Huh. Okay, well, chances are it will be back attack, so it's not the worst siege up. And it might find a Queen trying to spread more creep. That would be funny. That would be lucky,
like,
I think.
I do think it would just make more sense if it was over by the ramp or something, right? Like, you do it from the high ground where the gold is, and you do it on the ramp? Catch some Zerglings or something?
Yeah, well, I think no matter what, it's kind of odd to see it on the other side of the map instead of being brought home. He's probably going to lose it without doing too much more. Unless he can pair it up with tanks, that would be cool, but I don't see an abusive spot to do that. Maybe if he sieged up like here and tanks here kind of thing? Maybe. He's not. Just sending the 2 tanks on their own out, but with 2 tanks, they can cover each other. They can be buddies, and it works a lot better than a single drop tank for sure. They're going to get maybe some damage done, but I think more importantly, scouting. Lambo is going for the defensive Roach Ravager with melee upgrades. That's, if you're not going Mutilating Bling, this is what you're doing most of the time. Not the Roach Ravager all-in we saw in King Sejong.
Is this going to cancel the 4th?
You know, I feel like it shouldn't, but it... Okay, yeah, the Lings come back. They took their time getting here. That 4th should be... It should be healthy enough soon enough.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to finish in under 1/3 health.
Yeah, well, healthy enough at least to not die to 2 tanks. It might die to the push, for sure. But Hive's almost already done.
Doing a really nice job with it.
And DeMusliM has just not... This is kind of what I thought was going to happen on King Sejong. He doesn't have that good of upgrades, so he doesn't have like this 2-2 timing to push in with. He's only gonna have one, you know, upgrade too, and he's gonna be going up against ultras very soon. And I don't think he can deal with ultras. Like, his bioforce is only so large. He doesn't have liberators. He has one liberator. He's not gonna get the ghost. There's no 4th CC. I think he's just gonna be like, oh shit, ultras. I forgot that was a thing. And unless his focus fire is very good, or if Lambo forgets to start chitinous plating, DeMusliM is gonna be in a lot of trouble. What is medevacs for
I definitely agree.
Huh.
The scouting medevacs are just there. There is a backup in case he loses these other medevacs carrying the siege tanks.
Oh, so close. Yeah,
Ooh,
for sure.
Queen.
They're so rallied. Oh my god. Oh no, DeMusliM, stop. Please. They gotta come back and pick up your tanks. You gotta push soon too. Like, if he doesn't push.
As long as that infestor doesn't find the medevacs, doesn't fungal growth them, and the corrosive biles from the ravagers don't finish it off.
I think combat shield
As long as
isn't
that
even
doesn't
done.
happen. Yeah, he does find it.
I think.
Pulls it
Okay,
back.
unless DeMusliM has some serious good focus fire, I think he just loses to Ultralisk. Lambo is saving a lot of money right now for those ultras. That's why his supply looks so bad. But as DeMuslim's still not pushing, I think he'll get to the ultras. A 4th base comes down, and this makes me feel a little bit better for DeMusliM. Like, if he's been trying all on 3 bases against ultras already being out, I think that doesn't work. But if he can kind of pressure, keep his army alive, and get the 4th base 2nd star port, I'm okay with that. But I'm also a little afraid he's going to push into fungals and then just die a terrible, terrible
The
death.
fungals are the biggest concern to me right now. He's going to have some really amazing splits, and here we go. Lambo spots out the army with his Zerglings, and he's going to take 1 or 2 shots from the siege tanks, but this is the big scary moment. Spire also going down, which is interesting enough. I guess getting ready for potential Broodlord transition eventually as he starts to build up that bank and is now maxed out. But pretty good positioning from DeMusliM so far. There is a big Zergling counterattack that's going to be swinging in, though, at the same time that these ultras are popping out.
Ooh, that's pretty brutal. They're both maxed out, so there's not a lot of reinforcements to take care of this. They run to the main, run to the natural. Ultras don't have plating yet, and that's exactly what the Ling run by was supposed to buy time for, so he has to give up his 5th or his 4th base. That's okay as long as he doesn't lose all the drones and all the army defending it, which he doesn't. So he can replant that later. Oh, this is
Slaps out
upgrades.
+2 armor for
Oh.
DeMusliM. That's really nice.
And +3 weapons. Oh, the Fungals. Oh, the Fungals looking for those tanks. They're looking for the army. Anything at all. All just have that plating, and the Fungals do hit a good portion of the army. The Ultras, they're slowly dying, especially as their focus fired, but I don't think they're dying fast enough, and more SCVs are still going down. Uh-oh.
Yeah. +3 weapons would have been so helpful here. I mean, a couple of these ultras would have already died, or if it were not for the fact that he had +3 weapons sniped off. The Zerglings are still sitting in the main base, finally get cleaned up. But as you were saying, DeMusliM is in a really, really rough spot. Maybe if he does something cheeky, like gets a planetary fortress at a choke point or something, that's going to make it really hard for the ultras to push into. But I don't know. This is going to be a very, very difficult situation for DeMusliM.
Yeah. He does have these extra command centers. Not even 1 extra command center. 2 extra command centers. Unfortunately, 1 is turned into a command center, or orbital. It's not going to be planetary. And this is where, like, if he had saved his army, and, you know, you look at it and he does manage to have a decent army supply, I still have faith he can do this. The lack of upgrades is painful, for sure. He should be on his way to 3-3, and now Lambo is far ahead on that. But if he can have good control on Ghosts and Liberators, I think Lambo could overcommit with Ultras, for sure.
Yeah, my fear, though, is that Lambo isn't going to be doing that. Lambo's actually making Corruptors right now. I guess to deal mostly with Liberators, but he can also go up to a Greater Spire, and if you think about a Greater Spire coming out around now, there is literally no response from DeMusliM. There's not going to be any Vikings out, and DeMusliM is just struggling to get up to the point where he's on even or max supply, much less like building up a bank or anything. Oh,
So
losing these.
No.
Well, it's not unlucky, it was the Zergling. The Zergling spread, by the way, from Lambo has been absolutely phenomenal. He has vision of everything right now.
Yeah, you're right. That's quite good. So losing 2 medevacs worth of supply really sucks, but as long as he can turtle, it could have been okay. He's not ready quite yet. Planetary's not ready quite yet. Ghosts aren't quite ready. Liberators don't have their upgrade, and of course, upgrades in general are a problem for DeMusliM. And oh no, he's going to be potentially outpositioned. More units here, ready to go.
This is definitely going to be a problem. As a side note, do you think that Lambo's overproducing Corruptors right now?
He is 7?
No, okay, never mind. He's fine.
Yeah.
I thought he
Oh,
had
dear
more
God.
on the way. But...
Oh,
well,
no.
This is gonna be a little bit of a massacre.
A little bit. I'm just gonna
GG.
tap out. GG. Ooh. Lambo takes 2-1. Advances on to the next
Qualifies.
qualifier. Yeah?
Yeah.
Stop copying me.
Qualifies the next qualifier. Oh, I got invited to another game. Is it the next series or is it... Okay, yeah, it's the next series. Sake
Yeah.
versus Soul.
Yeah, so we're gonna quickly hop into that break before they start. See you guys in 2.